talk a little bit about a gentle diet that you can follow when you're trying to detoxify the body. So nothing about fasting or juicing, just how to eat clean foods to help your liver really do what it's supposed to do. All right, starting with the roots of it, what to eat, what not to eat. So first, the foods to avoid. This is what I call lightening the load on the body. You want to take away anything that puts extra stress on the liver. So specifically, those are hydrogenated foods or trans fats. When you look at labels, anything that says hydrogenated, that means a trans fat. That puts a lot of stress on your liver. So you want to just put that back on the shelf, walk away. Mostly they're also found in fried foods and baked goods. Refined sugars, and especially fructose, that puts a lot of stress on your liver. So you're looking for the words high fructose corn syrup, corn sugar, corn syrup, and then also agave nectar. We tend to think of that as maybe a healthier alternative, but honestly, it's 90% fructose, and that can be tough. So we want to take away even agave nectar. When it comes down to meats, we want to get rid of processed, cured, and smoked meats. Also alcohol and stimulants, that's sort of a given. To summarize, it's really anything in a box, so we're talking about processed foods. Another consideration, next slide, would be common food sensitivities or allergens. And the top ones that we see here in our practice are wheat, gluten, dairy, corn, soy, and peanuts. Next slide, please. All right, now the fun part, the foods to enjoy. What are we going to eat when we detox? Basically, foods, plants, and beverages that, one, don't put extra stress on the liver, or two, ideally enhance liver detoxification. So those are whole, unprocessed, real foods. So with all of our meals and our snacks as we go on this weekend or full week detoxification, we want to make sure we have all of our macronutrients. So we have proteins, fats, and carbs. Let's look at the proteins next. So our choices here would be grass-fed, free-range, lean cuts of fresh meat. Animals who are eating grass are much healthier, leaner, and much more anti-inflammatory than the counterparts that are eating processed corn and soy in the feedlots. So we want to go for those. And luckily in this area we have Clark's Elio Farm right down the road where we can get that sort of stuff. Fish is another great option, but with fish we're looking for wild caught, preferably cold water. So those options would be salmon, sardines, herring, mackerel. And I do want to say, there are some foods that come in cans or boxes, mostly cans though, that are okay. And salmon and sardines are one of those. And we actually have now a new company that does BPA-free fish at the apothecary. It's really tasty. So yeah, give it a shot. For vegetarians, we have beans, nuts, and seeds. But even us meat eaters should have a lot of those in our diet too. And then we have free-range eggs. So for the same reason that our meat should be free-range, our eggs should come from free-range chickens. They're eating grass, and then their eggs will have higher amounts of your anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Okay, let's look at fats next. Our healthy fats are those usually high in monounsaturated fats. So those are olives, olive oil. Coconut oil is a little different. That's a saturated fat, but it's a medium chain triglyceride, which we now know is actually really healthy. Supports metabolism, supports brain function. We have chia seeds and flax seeds, good sources of fiber as well, and avocados and raw nuts. So raw is going to be a little bit better than if you're getting roasted nuts. We don't know how long roasted nuts sit on the shelves at grocery stores, and they could get rancid, which means inflammatory response to our body. So raw is best. Okay, and then our carbohydrates. The big push here is vegetables, lots and lots of them. Cooked, raw, however you like them. Some fruits, some whole intact grains. So with the grains, it has to be intact, meaning it's coming off of the plant and you're eating it in the same form, not refined down into a flour product and then packaged into a bread. So you're looking at brown rice, quinoa, amaranth, things like that. And then obviously herbs and spices. Okay, next slide. So what do we drink? Water, lots of water. And you can have a mixture of filtered and sparkling. But what you want is about half of your body weight in ounces. That's ideal. Now it doesn't have to be plain water. You can make it fancy, you can put in citrus, raspberries, limes, mint, herbs, anything you want, as long as you're not adding extra sugar, refined sugar that is. And then also teas are great. So naturally decaffeinated green tea is wonderful for liver detoxification. And then we have a nice tea blend at the apothecary called Cleanse and Detox Tea. It's very gentle, tastes pretty good. And you can have about 2 to 3 cups of that tea per day. Next
So
slide.
is that your body weight in pounds?
Well, you take your body weight in pounds and cut that in half, and you drink that many ounces.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Daily, right?
Daily, yes. No drowning. Okay, now specific detoxifying foods. The Brassica family is a great family. It's really helpful at upregulating phase 1 and phase 2 liver enzymes. It specifically helps detox the toxic end products of estrogen metabolism, and we all have to worry about that because we have a lot of things in our environment that mimic estrogen. So plastic water bottles, plastic food containers, linings of cans, BPA, all of that stuff, when it gets into our body, it looks like estrogen. And this family helps break it down, and so we can excrete it. So that's your broccoli, collards, cabbage, watercress, cauliflower, kale. We also have pomegranate seeds, leeks, chives, berries, lemon juice, but also the zest. So get your organic lemons and limes and get a zester and take that zest, and you can add it into salad dressings and into your water on top of your baked chicken. Garlic and onions. Whenever you start a stir fry, make sure you have some olive oil, and then your garlic and onions are your base layer, and then add everything else into that. Artichokes, whether you want to do the leaves Italian style or you want to do the hearts. Seaweeds, great detoxifying food. Grapes and citrus and dandelion greens. Dandelion greens are edible. We also have dandelion root, which is more of a medicinal herb that you can get as a tincture or you can have it as a tea. But I'll show you what the dandelion greens look like. Next slide. So we're going to zoom in a little bit and look at these foods. Up here we have purple cauliflower. This right here looks like a processed food, but it's actually a cauliflower tortilla using mashed up cauliflower, eggs, and a couple of spices, baked and packed down, and you have tortilla for your cleanse. Does anyone know what this is? Looks like something from outer space, I know. What's that? It is a Romanesco cauliflower. Yeah, it's really funky looking. And it tastes really good. So that's in your Brassica family. You have some zest here. This is a leek. Your leek, when it's raw, looks like this. When you go to cook it, you want to cut this part off and just use the white part. This is a baked leek here. Leeks are great just kind of roasted. If you're going to turn the oven on, just throw a couple in there with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Up top here is a collard green that's being used as a wrapper for food. So you can still have your burrito on the cleanse, but you're going to use your steamed collard green as your wrapper. Kale chips. Has everyone tried kale chips yet? Make your own, they're better, I promise. The ones in the store are a little bit funky, but they're easy to make, and they're really, really high in anti-inflammatory constituents. Up top here is dandelion green. Now it's really bitter, so the key with dandelion green is either to blanch it in boiling water with a little bit of salt in it, or saute it with olive oil, garlic, and lemon juice. Bitter is good. Bitter means detoxifying. Your liver loves bitter. So that's why we want a lot of that. We have a kale salad here with some grapes. This right here is watercress. Watercress is a really fun salad green because it's succulent, it's bright, it's shiny, it's not boring like regular lettuce. So you can do half watercress, half romaine, make a nice salad with that. Top left you have artichokes. So the one to the right is using the leaves. You can make a little dipping sauce. And then we have a salad with watercress and berries, and then pomegranate seeds at the bottom. Pomegranate seeds are a great little snack alongside some nuts, or you can add them onto salads to make your salad look pretty. Any questions about these foods here? Yes?
Do you have recipes for like those tortilla things and stuff?
I do. Yeah,
And we're going to
see me
write a
after.
cookbook pretty soon.
See me after, I'll give it to you.
Very tricky.
Yes?
In conjunction with the greens, the cruciferous family,
Uh-huh.
I'm just looking for clarification. I understand that calcium and some of the good nutrients, you don't get them unless you use lemon. Is this, that lemon brings out whatever it is that makes it easier to digest?
That could be. It could be the vitamin C makes it more bioavailable to the body.
Okay.
It definitely doesn't hurt the flavor, so I would encourage you to do it anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Yes?
Well, actually, I have 3 questions. The first one is, on the leeks, if you're using the base, what happens to the green part? Are they edible?
No, just compost it.
Okay.
Give it to another animal.
Okay.
No, it's very fibrous and tough. You can't eat that part.
Second, on the kale salad, you use the fruit and the vegetable together.
Yep.
Is that raw?
Yes, yeah. With kale, you want to marinate it in a vinegar first, and an oil, so a salad dressing, and that'll help break down a little bit of that fibrous part of it. So maybe make it, the night before, and then the next day you have that for salads for lunch and dinner.
Is that a problem with the 2 enzymes?
There's certain schools of thought that don't like you to have vegetables with fruit, and to my understanding, it's more root vegetables and fruit. So right here you have a leaf vegetable and a fruit. My training is not in those fields, so I can't really answer that specifically.
And my third and final question is, on the green vegetables, which I love, but I have a family member who's on a blood thinner and said not to be able to use a lot of green vegetables.
I could speak to that. The way I do it with my patients, first of all, pretty soon most people are going to be migrated to these newer blood thinners where that's not an issue anyhow.
Okay.
But it's stupid to compromise your health through not eating good foods for the pills. So I always say, eat the green vegetables, but have the same amount per week, and then we can adjust the medicine. And that's the intelligent way to do it.
Thank you.
Yes?
If you eat these foods regularly anyway,
That's awesome.
okay, so that, then you don't have
Absolutely.
to necessarily set aside a detox thing that is ongoing. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. This is going to be helpful on a daily basis. Really what makes it a detox diet is when you take away all of the other stuff and just
Okay.
focus on this. So taking away the processed foods, the trans fats, the fructose, refined sugars, and the common allergen sensitivities. That is really lightening the loads that these can go straight into the body and really help you do what you should do. Any other? Yep.
Keri, I have always used the whole leek in any kind of soup, beans and peas and
Oh, great.
whatever.
Huh.
I've never heard that it shouldn't use the top. Besides it being fibrous, is there any other reason I shouldn't be cooking with that?
No. No, that's fine. I'll have to try that too.
Because it just all cooks up. It just.
Yeah, I would
kind of
imagine
all-
if you cook it enough, it'll break down.
But I don't know how you use it in soups and stuff, but, we chop it, like you would chop an onion,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and then it just all cooks up.
Great. We'll try that.
Okay, let's keep going so we don't...
Just one quick
One
question
more.
about kale. Kale,
Kale,
people say
yes.
that kale can be bitter. If you're putting it in like a smoothie, do you recommend that you blanch it at all or just go?
No, I recommend using baby kale. So
Yeah.
baby kale is all over the markets now. It's small, so it has more naturally occurring sugars, much sweeter, works great in a smoothie. And we'll see that in here a little bit. So let's move on to the next slide and I'll take questions at the end. So specific detoxifying herbs and natural products. In the edible family, we have black pepper, rosemary, basil, turmeric, curry, garlic, ginger, orange peel, green tea, cilantro, parsley, and cinnamon. Pretty much any other herb and spice out there will help too. And then, so if you can't get all of these in your diet, obviously we have supplemental options. So one of the best and well known is milk thistle, also goes by silymarin, and the dose would be 250 milligrams 1 to 2 times a day. The cleanse and detox tea that I talked about, 2 to 3 bags a day. Cell Guardian is a great product that has the concentrated Brassica family in them, and the dose is 4 caps before bed. And then we have a couple of powders. They're protein-based powders. So this could be used as a meal substitute for your detoxification journey, either like a breakfast or a lunch. These are called Ultra Clear Renew or Clear Bite. They taste pretty good. You just add them to a smoothie and you have your protein and all any other add-in. Okay, let's go to the last slide. So what would this look like on a typical day? You wake up and before you get your breakfast together, perhaps you'll have a glass of water with a little bit of lemon juice in it. Then you can take a capsule of your milk thistle. For breakfast, here's a smoothie idea using the Detox protein powder. Throw some frozen berries in there for consistency or texture, and then an ounce of pomegranate juice, or you could even just use the fresh seeds. They'll blend up just fine in there. There's your baby kale, a nice good handful of that. And for anti-inflammatory and detoxification, half a teaspoon of ginger powder is really good for digestion as well. For fiber, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. And then for ice, what you can do is you can make a nice strong green tea, put them in ice cube trays, and then throw your green tea ice cubes into your smoothie. And then top that all off either with water or a non-dairy milk alternative. So lunchtime, one idea is using the canned BPA-free salmon, the wild sockeye, and you can mash that up with avocado instead of the traditional mayo, which has a lot of refined vegetable oils in it. Mash that up with lime, onion, and cilantro, and then serve that in lettuce wraps instead of on bread. You can have a little kale chip on the side, so you have your sandwich and your chips. Cleanse and detox tea on the side. And for dinner, you could do a lemon garlic roasted chicken breast, and you could put your leeks with that and just bake it. And while that's baking, you can put together a crunchy spring salad with a lemony dill dressing and some cleanse and detox tea. And there's dessert, don't worry. You can actually make a really great dessert using chia seeds. When chia seeds get wet or when you put any liquid with them, they swell up and they get a little bit mucilaginous. So they make a great substitute for like a rice pudding or something to that. So you use your chocolate protein powder and mix that with the non-dairy milk and soak your chia seeds in there. You can serve that with a couple of fresh berries. And then before bed, 1 capsule of milk thistle or 4 capsules of Celgard. So I have recipes for all this on your handout. And any questions as we wrap up? Yes?
I wanted to ask about non-dairy milks because people say that they're so
That was
highly
yours.
processed. I use
Yeah.
rice milk. Is one any better than another?
Well, you know, they're really easy to make at home. I tend to go for the almond milks because almond has a higher level of anti-inflammatory and monounsaturated fats. And that's very, very easy to make at home. I believe it's 1 cup of almonds to 4 cups of water just blended, and then you strain it raw, yeah. And then that extra leftover almond meal you can make, you can bake with, or you can add to your smoothie. So you're not losing anything there. It's more economical that way too. But yeah, look at labels and go for the unsweetened. Yes?
Yes, on the foods to avoid,
Yes.
dairy, I have like 4 to 6 ounces of kefir or yogurt a day. I mean, is that
Well,
to be
that's-
avoided?
I just said consider that to eliminate. It's not, you don't have to, but
I mean,
it
because
may
it
be-
has good, it's a probiotic.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, do I not have that? Or
Well,
what
as far
choice
as
do I have?
dairy goes, that's one of the best choices to keep
Okay.
in the diet because of those live cultures. Just watch the sugar content. A lot of yogurts.
I make my own yogurt,
Oh,
so
great.
there's no sugar in it.
Yeah. Most commercial yogurts are very high in
One
sugar.
other question, the
You can turn the lights on.
bacon, I'll have no nitrate bacon every
Mm-hmm.
so often. Is that okay to have because there's no nitrates, or is it still cured? I mean, it's
Yeah,
cured.
there's been a few studies lately showing that people who eat processed meats have greater risk of dying earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm cautioning people against the use of processed and cured meats, even if it is nitrate free.
Okay.
Maybe a couple times a year, special occasion,
Yeah,
but
that's
not
fine.
on a regular
Okay,
basis.
okay.
Yeah.